This is Saturday, November 18th. There are 249 days until San Diego Comic-Con 2024. Welcome to SDConCast, the official podcast of the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog.
VANUHTEE go. Oh my God, I love Live Journal, and my Live Journal wants me. Current movies, hyperactive, current music, Refuge 73. I love the color scheme, it's pink and purple.
Hello, all. I'm your host, James Riley, and joining me on the podcast, as always, Carrie Dixon.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today.
And also joining us this morning from the blog, Andy Wagner.
Morning, everybody.
All right, everybody. Welcome to open registration. We'll be covering the badge sale as it happens. You can tweet us at SD_comic_con. If you have any questions or comments, you can use the hashtag SDConCast. And also, we will be keeping an eye on the YouTube live chat if you wish to comment there. And I guess we just kick it off where it's a half an hour away. You should be in the waiting room right now. And you can join anytime up until just before 9 a.m. And what other things should everybody remember that we will be saying on repeat for the next 2 hours?
Okay, so far, at least, there doesn't seem to be any issues with the actual waiting room itself. Most of the questions that we've been getting this morning have been about, like, how do I log into my member ID? or things like that. So as a reminder, you will not log in until you are actually selected. So at 9 a.m., it's going to randomize us all, and then it will give you like a rough estimation of your time, and then your little green running man will either run real fast or he'll run real slow. But that'll give you kind of like a rough idea of where you are on the line. But when you are actually selected to purchase, that is when you will actually log in with your member ID. Anybody can wait in the waiting room. And if you are trying to purchase for friends, one important thing to remember is that if you personally already have all 4 days plus preview night, normally it will kick you out if you try to log in with your member ID. Now, I do know that Comic-Con told at least one person that, like, that's not a thing, but I don't know that I personally would like take that risk. So if what we've been suggesting to people all week is if you're trying to help out a friend and you already purchased preview night, because if you purchase preview night, you've got all the available badge days. Like, there are no more badge days left for you personally to purchase. But if you already have preview night and you want to help a friend, when you are selected, if you get in before your friend, just ask them for their login information, and then you can log in as them and go ahead and continue on with the purchase. That's totally fine. As always, you can purchase for up to 3 people, which can either be yourself and 2 other people, or it can be 3 other people entirely and you don't purchase anything for yourself. Comic-Con takes Visa, MasterCard, and American Express, and I had multiple people tell me this morning that in returning registration, they actually also took Discover cards. That is not what the Comic-Con website says, but if you've got a Discover card and you want to use it, it might just work. So that's kind of cool. They do not take PayPal, though. One important thing to remember is, now that we're all in the waiting room, yes, if anything goes wrong, take a screenshot. But your screenshots that you post on like social media that you're, all excited, like, oh, hey, I'm in the waiting room, do not include either your URL or at the very bottom of that waiting room, it's called a QID ID. That is unique to you. Do not share that. Once you are in the waiting room, make sure that you don't copy and paste your link anywhere. So if your friend is like, how do I get into the waiting room? Tell them to go to Comic-Con site and click member ID. Do not copy and paste your URL, because your URL is unique to you. So once that waiting room has loaded, like, that is yours. Do not share anything related to that.
So they just go to the main Comic-Con site and go into the member ID. Just tell them to go to comiccon.org, click on member ID, and you'll get into the waiting room.
Yes, but like I said, once you are physically in the waiting room, do not try to share that link with anybody. If Comic-Con sees that like multiple people are using your link, they may cancel badges, which is what we think happened with a couple of folks last year. Some other things to remember is that even though we hope everybody gets a badge today, remember that inventory is not held in your cart. So if a day sells out, like while you're in the middle of checking out, you will not be able to complete checking out and purchasing until you have clicked the little red X. On the far right hand side of your screen will be like a recap of your cart. You can go find, like, let's say Saturday sells out. You can go find Saturday, click the X, and then it will let you continue checking out. So keep that in mind, because that always throws people off because it's not super clear. If you, in returning registration, were not able to purchase all badge days, you could add on anything that you missed. Andy, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's kind of a convoluted process. I believe it's a little bit different than we've been used to in the past. Well, for one thing, I know that there is a slight delay when you try to add that day. So when you actually click on it and then it appears on the right-hand side under your orders, it takes about maybe 2 to 3 seconds. So please be patient. Don't rush it. Don't refresh. Whatever you do not refresh your screen. Just give it a moment, and it should appear on the right-hand side. So, sorry, go ahead, Carrie.
No, I was just gonna say, no, that's absolutely right. The system started running like really slowly in returning registration. So hopefully that doesn't happen today. But if it does, like Andy said, just like be patient, give it time, and just try not to panic.
And yes, you have to select each day one at a time. You select it, and then you hit add to cart. You select the day and hit add to cart. It's each one at a time. It doesn't allow you to bulk select, at least not yet. Hopefully they'll build that into it soon, but not yet.
So if you were able to purchase some, but not all days in returning registration, you can actually add on any days that you missed out on. So if, let's say, Friday and Saturday sold out and you were only able to purchase Thursday and Sunday today, if they're still available when you make it through, you can still grab Friday and Saturday. And the way the preview night works is, in the scenario that I just gave, where like you're still adding other days, after you add those other days, it will take you to another screen where it will ask you like, hey, do you want to add on preview night? If in returning registration, you were able to get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but not preview night, which means preview night is the only thing that you are missing, that process is going to work a little bit different today. What's going to happen is when you're selected, in the top menu bar, there will be a thing that says buy preview night. If you click that, and then you can click, yes, I'm eligible for preview night. And then basically from there, you'll continue on. But like I said, it's a little bit different if preview night is the only thing that you are missing. And right. I see several people.
I just wanted to ask if the only day that you're buying for is preview night, what are you going to see in that initial screen? Are you just going to see, is it going to be empty, or I don't know what's going to be there?
No, I think it still looks normal, because you could like scroll down to the bottom and like click add another registrant. But if you want to add preview night for yourself, you have to go up to the top menu bar and click, what did I just say? Buy preview night.
Right.
So make sure that you do that. I see several people in the chat asking me to explain about the little red X again. So actually, let me see if I can just like share my screen real quick. Oh, do you want to open that up, James?
I will.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so if a day sells out on you on this like process payment page, or alternatively, if you're on like the page before, it will give you, this is not the best screenshot because it's a little bit blurry, but it will list like all of the days, and there will be a little red X beside each day. So if, let's say, like Friday sells out, you will need to go in and click the little red X to remove Saturday from your cart. If you don't, it won't let you continue, because it's going to say, well, you've got items. Well, it's not actually going to say that, but basically the problem is you have items in your cart that have sold out. So if something does sell out and it won't let you, like I said, just make sure that when you look at the little recap of what days you have, you click the little red X beside the day that sells out, because that is an issue. every time for some folks. So hopefully that explained that a little bit better.
So let's remember that at 10 minutes you showed that, and we can tell people to rewind if they're watching live throughout the morning. Like rewind to 10 minutes in and watch us explain.
Yes.
About the
How
little
to
red
do that.
X.
About the little red X. And like I said, that's only if a day sells out, like while you're checking out, because inventory is not held. Hopefully that does not happen to you. Some other common issues is I've been begging everybody to like, please go take a screenshot of the way that your name appears in your member ID. Because as of last year, when they moved over this new system, suffixes and like hyphenates are all combined into one. So if your name is like John Doe, comma, Junior, the whole Doe, comma, Junior, like exactly the way that it appears in your member ID is now the way that you have to enter your last name. So like down to the comma, down to a period, down to anything weird that's included, like that is part of your last name according to Comic-Con. So if it says like it can't find your member ID, more than likely this is the problem. Yep.
Also, please don't forget to have your payment methods handy. If you didn't save it into your Comic-Con profile. Make sure you got whatever credit card you're using right here in front of you. You really don't want to be running around searching for it when you need it.
Yes.
So it says, can you, one question Blade asked, can you add all your friends to the list when you're buying your badges at once? The limit is 3 people. You can buy 3 badges. So you can't add all your friends. If you're buying for yourself, you can add 2 of your friends.
Maybe you only
you
have
plus
2
2
friends,
or
James.
3, not you.
Yes, absolutely. One other thing that I want to talk about that I think has been really confusing to people is we've been getting a lot of questions about like, how does the payment thing work? Okay, so you've got 2 options, okay? Option number 1 is right after the sale ends and they open up the member ID, again, normally, you can hop in there. And we've got instructions on our open registration visual guide, but you can actually hop into your member ID and like pay the balance. Think of it like an invoice, okay? So even though your friend checked out, they purchased 3 badges. If I want to go pay for my own badge on my own so that my friend doesn't get hit with, $1,000+ and on their credit card, if you log into your member ID, I'm going to share my screen again. That's what we're doing today. If I can even find the window. I think it's this. Okay. Do you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. If you want to pay for your badge on your own, if you go to your account dashboard and then you click my notifications on the left-hand side, from there, you'll see a balance. So like, this is a screenshot from last time, but it'll show like balance due, pay now, $365. You can click that pay button and then it will take you to this screen, which is kind of like a recap of everything. And one day, if you did not purchase anything in returning registration, one day we'll actually have like the $15 fee added. So like you can see here on Thursday, the badge was normally $79, but they added the $15 to make it $94. You have to type in the amounts for each day, basically just make it match the balance, and then you can check out. And if you do this pretty quickly, you can pay for your own badge on your own directly to Comic-Con as opposed to like paying your friend back. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to. If you do absolutely nothing, that's totally fine, because whoever checked out normally will just get hit with all 3 cards if you don't do anything, which is totally fine. So you've got 2 options. Like I said, you can do nothing, and your friend, whoever checks out with all the badges, just gets hit with all the credit cards, and you just pay that friend back like we did for years and years and years. Or if you want to pay for your own badge individually before your friend gets hit, do it right away, because after returning registration, they started hitting cards normally like 2 or 3 hours, I think, after the sale.
Yeah, it was fairly soon after the sale, the charges started going.
Yeah. So like I said, do it like immediately once they open up member IDs after the sale.
Blade clarified their question. When I'm buying badges, do I have to put them individual in the system and add the dates? Yes, you have to do each person individually. So you select the member, you add them to cart, and then you add the days that they want and you put them in your cart. Then you go back and you select another member, and then you add the days and they go into your cart. And then you select the third member, and then they add the days and they go into your cart, and then you check out. So it's basically a very individualized, one button click at a time, one ad at a thing kind of thing. There's not like there's nothing bulk about this except the very end when you hit the checkout button and then you check out everything.
Yeah.
And you have 15 minutes, and again, cross your fingers. As long as nothing is going wrong, it's plenty of time to get everything done.
Yes. Okay. So a couple questions in the chat. Monica asked, can I pay for all days with my credit card under my friend's account? Can she use my card if she gets in before I do? Yes, you can use any card you want. It doesn't it truly doesn't matter like if the names on the cards match, as long as it's a valid credit card. Marcia asked, can you drop a day when you go to pay? It looks like you can. Yes, you can. Again, all you have to do is like the little red X that I'm going to keep talking about. And that will remove that day from your cart. So that's totally fine. I see a couple questions about multiple browsers. You can use multiple browsers. The rule is basically one per browser. So if you have like multiple people trying, or if you just want a couple more tries, like it's one per browser, but you can absolutely open up multiple browsers. And the way that you can tell if it's working is check the QID on the bottom, and those should be different. If they're not different, you have not done it correctly.
Spooky asks, do I need to create a member ID for a child under 10?
No, you do not. Children 12 and under are actually free at Comic-Con. And all you have to do is when you get to the actual convention, you just follow the signs and you just go register your child on site. You can have a free child with a paid general badge, which is what we're doing today. So it's really painless and easy, and it's a great thing that Comic-Con does.
What if someone has
generally
18 kids?
As what?
What if someone has 18 kids?
I mean, I think literally in the olden days, people did used to show up with school buses of children. I don't think they.
Yeah, if you've got a big enough van or bus,
Look, I've seen movies. It's a thing. There's people with, merged families. They each had 9 kids. Now there's 18.
This is
if you're bringing the Brady Bunch and the Partridge Family, yeah, sure.
There you go.
Bring them on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's an official limit, but I think you would be testing Comic-Con's patience if you showed up with 18 children. So I don't know that I would recommend that, but use common sense, and I think you'll be fine.
It's two kids per badge.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I think they actually do have a limit. That's what Daniel says.
Okay. And Joshua said, if you have 18 kids, you can afford to go to SDCC.
Hey, you know what? I don't judge people, whatever they're doing, whatever lifestyle they're living. Maybe they're independently wealthy. I don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know their lives.
Keyblade Sonic asks, does the refund policy allow for individual day refunds?
It should. So unless something has changed here in the last week, I don't think they've opened up refunds yet, but they did say that you could request, there's some verbiage about you can request which days. The only year I think that they didn't allow you to request individual days was maybe 2022. And it was basically because we'd had the pandemic, we'd had no conventions for a while. So they were a little bit stricter that year about the refund policy. But last year it was back to normal where, yes, you could request individual days to refund. So Comic-Con's official rule, the reason a lot of people ask this is if they're look, if I either decide I don't want to go or I can't go, but I still want to keep my eligibility for returning registration, because if you have returning registration, you have a significantly higher chance of scoring a badge. So the reason people ask this is usually like, well, can I just keep one day and then I get to keep my returning registration eligibility even if I don't actually go to Comic-Con? Comic-Con's official rule has basically always been, yes, you can, but we reserve the right to change our minds, basically, if too many people start abusing that. So try not to be that person, but if you have to be that person for some reason, you know, like everybody understands emergencies happen, like things change, like maybe all of a sudden, you know, your sister's getting married that weekend, whatever. Yes, you should be able to request individual days, and you should be able theoretically to keep your returning registration eligibility if you keep at least one day.
What if Lorcana is going on sale at Downtown Disney? Can I skip out on going to Comic-Con?
Then you got a really difficult choice to make.
But you made the right choice, James. Thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice this morning. Jada asked, how do I get my discount for military family? If the discount does not show up automatically, go ahead and purchase at full price today. And what you can do after is contact Comic-Con International, and then they should be able to refund you the difference. I think basically they have to mark it within your account. And as Moss said, like, there is a verification process. And I think it's the same for like seniors and other sort of groups that get discounts. But again, if you think that you should have a discount, if it does not appear in that way today, just go ahead and purchase. And then contact Comic-Con International after and say like, hey, I should have had a discount, and they should refund you the difference. Don't wait and be like, oh, well, I didn't get my discount, I'm not going to purchase, because Comic-Con is probably not going to help you in that instance.
Daniel asked, will we be allowed to create a new member ID during checkout? No, you cannot. Member ID is now locked from what, by 8 a.m. this morning or before 8 a.m.? You can't create any new member IDs.
Nope.
I think so.
You know, you can try, I suppose, and see what happens.
Yeah.
But usually, no. Usually they lock down member IDs before the sale and didn't reopen it again until after the sale.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like a nice even number, but there's a little under 7 minutes left until the sorting starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 6.5 minutes by my clock.
I appreciate that Clone Tommy said, I've missed weddings by being at Comic-Con. Come on. Well, we all have our priorities. I know what mine are, but maybe someone else's are different.
And how close are you to that person? You know, if it's like an immediate family member, then, you know.
Listen, if it's someone you're close enough to, they should know better than to schedule a wedding on Comic-Con weekend, right?
Yeah, right? Seriously.
Oh, even worse, they want to put you in it.
Yeah, no.
Make you read something, give a speech, whatever.
Yep. Okay, so what questions do you guys have? We are about 6 minutes by my clock away from 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., it will randomize us all, and then people will start to be let through to purchase. Sarah in our chat said, I missed a family bridal shower last year. That's right, you did, and you had a great time doing it. So, like I said, it's about 6 minutes away. It usually takes them like a minute or two to finish randomizing everybody, but then people should start getting through to purchase. Let's talk real quick about how fast do things sell out. James, do you want to talk about that? Because I put the notes in the doc.
Sure, why not? So the times that things sell out, we have the data from returning registration that just happened a couple weeks ago and from open registration last year. So I'm just going to go through each day. Preview night was gone in 41 minutes this year and 32 minutes last year. Saturday was gone at 66 minutes this year and 44 minutes last year. Friday gone at 73 minutes and then 53 minutes last year. Thursday gone at 89 minutes and also Sunday 89 minutes on returning registration this year. They sold out at the same time. And last year, Thursday was gone at 75-minute mark, and 1 minute later, Sunday was gone. So everything is done basically in an hour and a half or less.
Yep. Yes.
And it really struck me was, oh, sorry, Carrie, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, what really struck me was that last year we were surprised at how long it was taking things to sell out in open reg, and it still took longer in returning reg this year. So that we've been kind of talking back and forth between, or among all of us, that this year definitely feels a little different.
So I want to talk a little bit about this. So I think, honestly, returning registration, both of the last 2 years, is maybe not like the greatest benchmark, because last year they had major issues. That's when like the whole system crashed and they had to push it back, I think, by like an hour. So I feel like last year they were probably letting people through a lot slower than normal to try to keep it from crashing. And then this year, last month, they again started to have some issues, like people were getting some glitches. Everything slowed way down, which we talked about already. And so I think they probably did the same thing, because around the time, shortly after like things started to slow way down, people's times like for when they were going to make it through started to go up. So I think they probably started letting fewer people in to basically try to get that load off the server. So I feel like because of those issues, returning registration likely took a little bit longer the last 2 times, because again, I think at certain points they were letting people through a little bit slower than normal. And I want to talk real quick about this before things kick off here in about 2.5 minutes. If your time does go up, don't panic. This is normal. That's okay. All that it really means is, as we just said, they are likely just letting people in through a little bit slower, which, is going to push everybody's time up. It does not mean that people are like jumping in front of you. It is nothing to panic about. It is not just your time that is going up, like everybody's does. That time is also just an estimation. So don't panic. It's okay.
It's literally waiting in a line, and like at Disneyland, and the ride breaks down and everybody's going to wait longer. You don't lose your place in line. It's just everybody waits for the ride to get fixed, and then you get going again. So it's just like a literal line that you would wait in. It just depends on how fast you're moving through that line, and sometimes you don't move at all.
Yes, I know. But
so if someone logs in on a different computer with one account, can you use the same member ID from the first computer, or does it need to be a different one when that one gets in? If the member ID has been used to purchase, then you can't use it.
Yeah.
If it hasn't been, then the first time you are going to purchase with that member ID, it is fine, even if you're on a different computer. So whichever one you use to purchase is the one you can use it. But then after that, you can't use it again.
All right, here we go. Less than a minute.
Yep, we got 1 minute. Okay. Let's see. Don't panic as well if it does start out with like over an hour, as Jay Peterman just pointed out. Like in the last sale, their time also started out with over an hour, but the times will go down. And I mean, James, you were, I think, able to get all days, and your time started out with more than an hour. Like when it first went up,
I think it went down fairly good. Yeah.
So here in a second,
it was either me or Andy or somebody. One of us.
Yeah, James and I got in roughly the same time, and the only day that was sold out for me was preview night. We were still able to get in. So
okay, so here we go. So for anybody who's watching this, we are going to be a little bit behind on what your screen is, just because there's like a slight delay. But it looks like they are starting the randomization. So now we just see
my little running man just popped up.
Yep, my screen's all refreshed.
Yep, so did mine, but I don't have a time yet. So I think they're still randomizing, and then we'll see from there. So exciting stuff.
And I'm not even trying to buy any badges right now, and that's still a little bit stressful,
this is always stressful. I know it is, but and I also know that like they say, don't panic, like doesn't help anybody, but we're all
More than an
all in the
hour.
same boat. We're all in the same boat. Yes.
And no, that boat is not the Titanic.
Nope.
Oh, all right. I'm starting to get times. I got more than an hour,
That's
more
all.
than
Yeah,
an
mine's
hour,
more than an hour.
Yeah.
more than an hour. And I've got
Yep.
2 others that aren't randomized yet. Oh, that one just popped up.
Yeah. So now we just wait to see if anybody, starts to move a little bit faster as they start letting people in through. So we will see. But again,
And yes,
even
you'll
though it
notice we're
says
all
more than an
looking to like
hour, yep. Even though it says more than an hour, that doesn't mean it's going to stay at more than an hour. I really think, James, you and Aaron like both started out with more than an hour, but then your time started going down like pretty significantly after a little bit. So
I was like in that middle of the road guy who doesn't wait forever, but also isn't one of the first ones through.
Yeah. We've got somebody here with 12 minutes. We've got 2 people here with 12 minutes. So that's great.
Nice.
Love that.
Awesome.
Congratulations on that, guys. 11 minutes. All right. So we've got some times here. So we're just going to have to sit this out and see what happens. Okay. So let's talk through this again. So when you are selected, that is when you will log in. If you are trying for your friends and you personally already have purchased preview night, do not use your member ID. If you're trying for a friend, ask your friend like, hey, I just got in. What is your login? And log in with their information. We've got a 1 minute for Eric. Good job.
Wow.
All right.
You are first in
Eric.
line.
Yeah, good job, Eric.
So your running man was Usain Bolt, you're saying. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I got in super fast last time, but that is not what is happening today. So that's okay.
Hey, people are already starting to get discouraged. Do not get discouraged, guys. It has just begun. There's still a lot of game left to play.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, remember the times we just went over was that preview night didn't sell out for a half an hour last year.
Yes.
And 40 minutes this year.
Yes. And you also have to remember that, like, again, times will fluctuate. Let's say, like, everybody has multiple browsers open. Like, if I get through, I'm going to close the rest of my browsers after that. And then, like, that takes people out of the queue and that speeds up everybody's time. So just because it says more than an hour right now does not mean it's going to stay at more than an hour. So
looks like I got 37 minutes on one.
Good. That's awesome.
All right. So yeah, things are moving along.
Yep.
Do we have any successes yet?
That 1 minute person better have already been started to buy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. It takes a minute to purchase.
Jada says this will be their first time. Congratulations. Good luck. You got this. We've got you. We got your back.
Amos asks if refreshing is a good idea. No, it is not a good idea.
Never.
Just let it go.
Don't refresh.
Never.
Yeah, just let it sit there. Yeah, it looks like people's times have started to move a little bit faster. Yep. Chronos said jump from 11 minutes to 3 minutes. So again, I think they probably like slowly start letting people in and then they speed it up a little bit. So don't lose all hope yet. Like, this is still incredibly early in the game. Yep.
My estimated arrival on the website is more than an hour Pacific Standard Time. It's not even, they're not even bothering giving me a time frame, a specific time.
That's what mine says.
And I appreciate them using Pacific Standard Time because, daylight saving time ended.
That's right.
I'm a nerd about that stuff.
That's okay.
It looks like it's running smoothly. We haven't heard anyone yelling about something crashing yet.
Yes.
No.
If something does crash, make sure you take a screenshot and then contact Comic-Con International. If you go to their website, there's a contact form. You can contact them through that. So make sure that you do that. That's incredibly important. If you missed out on any days in returning registration, you can add them on here. If you only missed out on preview night, if that's the only day you need to add, there are specific instructions for that you should have been emailed, or they are in our open registration visual guide. But basically, you're going to click buy preview night in the top nav bar. If a day sells out on you, which we're a ways from that, but if it does, click the little red X in your recap to remove it from your cart to be able to check out. Those are the main things that matter.
All right. And I appreciate Committed Comics in our chat, trying to calm everybody down, encouraging deep breaths. Yes, definitely. Amos, you're going to be fine. That you're getting worried. I understand that, but just breathe. Do you have your coffee or whatever your morning beverage is? Just take a couple of sips, deep breaths, and relax. This is all going to be fine. We're all in this together.
Yes, absolutely.
See, people's times are jumping up and down, like we said. Don't worry about it. It's going to happen. It's okay, Giuliani. We see you still have more than an hour, so it's going to be okay.
Yes. So when you are selected, as a reminder, you will have 15 minutes to complete your purchase. But again, badge inventory is not held for the 15 minutes. So just be aware of that. But you do not have to super rush through it. So don't panic.
Justin asked, so if I only need preview night, I can still buy my friend's tickets, correct?
Yes.
Still
Yes, you can.
eligible to try. Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
The only thing that precludes you from participating in this is if you've already bought preview night.
Yes, that is correct. And again, if you have and you want to try it for a friend, just make sure that you use their login instead of yours, since anybody could have sat here and waited in the waiting room. So that way you can see who makes it through first.
Sly Lip says they're using an iPad. Is there anything they should be stressed about? We've seen mileage vary on mobile devices. Lately, it's been a lot more stable. I'm using an iPad too. So, yeah, basically, I would say, yeah, you should be fine.
Joe asked, once we're in, the max is 3 member IDs. Yes, you can purchase for up to 3 individual people. Now, that can be yourself and 2 other people, or it can be not yourself, but 3 friends. So any of those is totally fine. But yes, a maximum of 3 purchases total.
So I think there's a 10-minute line on that people are referencing instead of the 15 minutes we said. And that's what you're seeing right now on the queue page up at the top. It says you will have 10 minutes to enter the site. That is just once your session is active, you have to enter into the site to buy the badges, and you have 10 minutes to activate your session, essentially. And then once you're in, you have 15 minutes to buy a badge. So the 10 minutes is different than the 15 minutes.
Or maybe it really is 10 minutes. Maybe they've changed it.
Yeah. Mine's down to 15 minutes.
Nice.
That's good. Mine are definitely all still at more than I got 44 minutes. Just literally
awesome.
Just
now. Erin says she's down to 2 minutes.
Ooh.
Go Erin.
Go Erin.
Whoop.
Oh, hey, mine went down to 55 minutes.
Ooh,
there you go.
Exciting.
There you go. That's what's up.
Very, very exciting. All right. So it does look like some of you are starting to get through. That is fantastic. There's absolutely nothing to worry about right now. So as we've mentioned a couple of times, preview night is always the first thing to sell out. And that didn't sell out last year in open registration until 32 minutes after the hour. In returning registration, it didn't sell out until 41 minutes after the hour. So there is still quite a bit of time before preview night will sell out. And again, times are fluctuating, times are changing. So stay calm.
And so far, nothing has been reported as low or sold out. So you still have a chance for all days.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. And like I said, I would not expect to hear anything about things being low till probably at least like 15 minutes from now.
Haytas asked, so I got my Thursday and Sunday in early reg. I'm trying to get Saturday for me and a buddy. Should I use my account or my buddy's? You can use either one because as long as you're both have a member ID, you're both eligible. So it doesn't matter which one you use.
Yep, absolutely.
6 of one, half a dozen of another. It really, yep.
Yep, doesn't matter. So that is fantastic. So we've got some folks who are getting through. Congratulations to you guys. We love that.
Yep. Seeing a lot of times going down too. Congratulations.
And I don't remember if we've mentioned this recently, but the spelling of names matter, and suffixes and all those kinds of things are very important. So make sure if you're buying for somebody else, make sure you have their member ID and last name exactly how it is in the Comic-Con system, whether that's a screenshot of their member ID and name, or if they've typed it out for you. Just make sure it's actually very correct. Because one little dash or comma or apostrophe or whatever may be there will cause a problem.
Yes, absolutely. This is why we recommended screenshots. Moon Shadow asked, if we only want one day, do we pick Friday or Saturday? So we get asked this question a lot, and it's really like a personal preference. There's really no such thing as like a bad day at Comic-Con. Sunday is always the lightest day, but again, there's no such thing as a bad day. And because they don't announce the schedule until 2 weeks before the convention, like it's not like you're going to know when your favorite movie or TV show is going to be there, with the one exception being Marvel, who's always Saturday evening. But if you were hoping for like something specific, it's not Marvel, you're not going to know when they're going to be there this early. So just take your pick.
Yeah, a friend of mine, it's actually their first time, and I asked them what their interests are, and they said everything. And I said, okay, this is kind of like Disneyland. You have to pick something and prioritize, because even if you go for 3 days, you're not going to see everything that you want to see in those 3 days. Things are going to happen at the same time and overlap. So you'll have to either make really tough choices in the moment or prioritize what you want to do and see those days.
Yep. I just saw a question. Paris asked, is it worth going to preview night? This is my first year going. So James, do you want to talk a little bit about what happens on preview night?
Preview night is basically the chance for everyone to actually see the show floor without any scheduling conflicts, because usually the only thing that runs is some WB showings of upcoming pilots or season openers, things like that. They usually run that for a couple hours. So it's a chance to get onto the show floor, buy stuff before the madness of the rest of Comic-Con happens. It's used to be a little bit lighter in attendance, but I think it's basically almost like a regular day now, because everybody is going to the show floor because there's no panels to pull everyone away. So it's really nice if you're like a panel person who just loves going to panels all day long. Preview night is great because it's essentially going to be your one chance to not have a conflict and be able to make it onto the show floor. Yeah. If you don't care about the show floor, if you don't care about buying anything or seeing any artists or seeing any product previews or seeing any small press or any of that, then preview night is not for you.
Yep.
The only caveat I would add to that is sometimes not everyone is completely set up. Sometimes some vendors are running late and they haven't arrived yet. So preview night, you will get, like James said, first dibs at the exhibit hall floor, but you also might run the risk of not being able to have everyone available at the time. So mileage varies, like we say.
That is true. And I also want to stress that, like, it's your first chance to do the exhibit floor. And I mean, a lot of people will do the big booths, but you can absolutely do other stuff. Like, I usually use that time to like go get on commission lists or to go hit like some of the mid-tier booths, since everybody else is, running to Funko or wherever. So it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm heading to Hasbro, and if I don't care about Hasbro, like I'm not gonna get preview night. There are other things you can do. Night Bodega asked, what happens if I have all days plus preview night and I log into my account to help others? It should theoretically tell you like, hey, you're not eligible and kick you out. So it may not do that. Comic-Con for sure told one person that it would not, but it definitely did that last year. So what I personally would do is if you're trying for a friend, I would like contact my friend and be like, hey, I just got through. What is your login information? And login is them, since your member ID will show that like you've already purchased all available badge days.
Yes, and reminder that if until preview night sells out, if you want to go to preview night, you have to select all 4 other days and put them into your cart before preview night becomes an option to purchase.
Yes, yeah, I see Justin asking about that. And if you in returning registration were able to get 4 days but not preview night, your process is different and you'll need to click in the navigation bar by preview night and continue on from there.
Amos is asking if Saturday is sold out yet. No, nothing has been announced as low or sold out yet.
Hey, Andy, see the chat message?
Yes, I see it.
Yep.
I am actually going to be in 5 minutes, so
all right, good.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
nice.
That's awesome. That's great. Yes, nothing is sold out yet. Preview night will be the first thing to sell out. I would expect it to be available until roughly about 30 minutes or so past the hour. So we should have around 13 or so roughly minutes at least until preview night sells out. And it may take longer than that because like I said, in returning registration, it took 41 minutes past the hour. So, but preview night is always going to be the first thing to sell out just because it's only 3 hours. So I don't think they put up the same quantity of badges that they do for the rest of the day since it is only 3 hours. And again, the only places you can go are the floor and maybe ballroom 20. But
so SEAL Team Bravo asks, when you buy a badge for yourself and your friend, do all the badges go to your place or go to yours and your friend's place also? The badges get mailed to the person's address that is in their account. So if you buy 3 different badges for 3 different people, they will get mailed individually to them.
yes.
Unless they all put the same address.
Yes, that is correct.
And even then they will get mailed individually to them in different envelopes, but they will just go to the same address.
Yep. That is correct.
And
the deadline to confirm your shipping address is, I think, May 13th. It's for sure in May. I think it's May 13th. And then badges typically ship in like early to mid-June.
So no, they haven't shipped yet.
No, they have not. Don't ask me.
Don't start asking till June.
Yeah. Don't ask me.
Even
please.
then, think about it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
again, to cover the purchasing information, when you're checking out, if you're checking out for multiple people, then you are going to put your credit card information in when you hit the checkout button. That doesn't mean that it's going to go to your credit card. If they choose, they can go into their account after the tickets are purchased and they're available in the cart, and they can go pay with their credit card before yours is charged. So you can go in and do that before yours is charged. Otherwise, yours will get charged for everything that you checked out with.
But if they want to hit their own individual card, they need to do it here pretty quick as soon as the sale ends. Once the sale ends, the member ID should revert back to being the normal member ID system. And then from there, we've got instructions again on our open registration visual guide at the bottom under payment on how they can pay for their own. But they have to do that before Comic-Con starts hitting cards. And with returning registration, they started doing that like 2 or 3 hours after the sale. So if you want to like pay for your badge individually, do it pretty quick.
Well, I really do appreciate this, but a lot of people are getting in before me and getting my people before I get a chance. So thanks. All right. right, I'm down to 1 minute. Again, nothing low, nothing out. So things are still good.
Yep. So this is the happy time when everybody who's getting through is, able to purchase everything that they want. This is the happy part of the sale. And I hope that everybody who gets through is able to grab what they want today. But here in a little bit, a couple days, we'll start selling out, but we're going to be with you through it all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm down to less than a minute, so I might be going dark here soon.
That's
so I can
okay.
buy for my last person.
Okay. Wow. With
Yeah,
that,
this is the exciting part where we're all watching our screens, waiting for
Yeah,
something.
I know. We were
Countdowns,
like,
everybody's
"Ooh."
buying badges.
All right, for the rest of the time, it's just going to be the three of us moving our head a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I can.
I am in. All right.
Nice. Okay, we'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
Andy.
Yes. So JG asked, can we adjust days selected, reduce them after we check out? Yes. So I would not do it through the member ID system because that scares me a little. But what you can do is at some point, Comic-Con will open back up the refund process. And basically you just fill out a form and you'll tell them like, hey, I want a refund Sunday or whatever specific day you want to refund, but that is how you do a refund. So make sure that you do that. Some folks are asking if preview night is gone. I don't think so. Don't forget that when you make it through, you will not see preview night on that very first screen. It will only appear after you have added the other 4 days, Thursday through Sunday. And then once you've added those to your cart, you'll be taken to another screen where it will ask you if you want to add on preview night. So don't panic when you don't see that initially. That does not mean that it's gone. Comic-Con has not tweeted that anything is sold out.
Preview night is running low.
Okay, but that does not mean sold out. That just means running low. So I think we're probably, again, still in about last year's timing, which I said it would be roughly around the half hour. And I think that's probably fairly close to where we're going to wind up. But yes, preview night is running low. Okay. Okay, so Nerddom said, I'm not seeing it on here. I got all 4 on returning. Again, if you need to only add preview night, in the navigation bar, it should say like buy preview night. Click that. Your process is different because all you need is preview night. So don't forget that. Yep.
Nice. People getting through, getting their badges. Yep. It's nice to see.
We love that. Yep. I think all of our people are actually good, but my lowest screen is at 18 minutes. So I'm definitely not having quite as good of luck as I did in returning, but that's okay. What about you, James?
Mine's at 25.
Okay. All right.
Well, not bad. Again, right middle of the road. I mean, I'd get in for some tickets if I was trying. I would actually get in for probably maybe all 4 days, maybe just everything but Saturday at this point.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes at that point.
Yep. Rogue said, my friend just purchased her all 4 days, but they didn't give her the option of preview night. This is her first time going. So if you have any issues like with preview night, make sure that you contact Comic-Con International. But again, don't forget that it's on a separate screen. So you won't see it initially, but it definitely should have prompted you like in a different screen, like, hey, do you want to add on preview night? I don't know that Comic-Con's going to be able to do anything about that, especially because other people are reporting that they got preview night, no problem. Hold on. Hold on.
All right.
Where is this? All right. Can you talk for a second, James? I gotta take care of
I
something.
can talk, but I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about because
I'm back. I just got done.
Andy's
and
back.
I
How you
can
doing,
actually
Andy?
talk.
Everything go smooth?
Everything went really, really well. And I'm actually going to give a little insight because the friend that I just bought for is active duty military. So once you verify yourself in your Comic Con ID, it will automatically apply the discount when you're checking out.
So you have to have done the verification before the sale starts.
Yes.
So that doesn't mean you can't get the military discount after the fact. You're just going to have to jump through the hoop of contacting Comic-Con, paying the rate now, and then going back and trying to get the refund after the fact.
And they are very responsive. So once you reach out to them, they should respond to you relatively quickly.
And again,
remember, there's a lot of people reaching out.
Yeah. And again, remember that the way to contact them is the contact page on the Comic-Con website. That is comic-con.org. And then find the contact page.
Yep.
All right. So we still have preview night. It doesn't say sold out, so it looks like it will last up to about the half an hour point, maybe a little longer like it did last year.
Yeah, it looks that way. Someone in our chat pointed out that this was easier than getting tickets for Taylor Swift.
Well,
and that says a
lot. Significantly
that
easier.
says a lot. Okay, guys. Let's SDCC used to be like the hardest thing to get anything for. Now the Swifties have won.
And so the military discount is for active duty only, correct?
Correct. Yes. It does not apply to veterans or dependents.
Okay. And also, let's answer the question again of when do they charge your credit card? In the past, it has been a few days later, but this year during returning registration, they started charging a few hours after the sale. So if you have any payment issues that you need to work out with people where they're going to pay their own, make sure that they are on it as soon as the sale is over. As soon as they can see their tickets in their member ID, they need to go pay for them, or your card will get hit for the charge sometime soon-ish. So just be aware that you might want to make sure that everyone's handling everything today as soon as the sale is over.
Yes, absolutely.
Unless you can afford to take the hit on your card. So
yeah.
Yes. So still lots of happy people. And yep. Comic-Con has not tweeted that preview night is sold out. So for right now, it is still available. But I think it will probably be going here pretty soon. Again, preview night is always the first thing to sell out. Last year in returning registration, it sold out 32 minutes past the hour. And we are currently, by my clock, at 28 minutes past. So we're, pretty close to that. I see some folks talking about the prices on the badge. So I actually want to talk about this. Comic-Con for many years has basically only raised the prices $5 a badge a day. This year, they actually only raised it $4 a badge a day, but then they raised the processing fee by $5. So like a $25 increase every year is really, like, if you compare it to other conventions, not that bad. But yes, preview night is now gone. Not that bad. Preview night is gone. So that's okay.
A little bit faster. 3 minutes faster than last year.
Yes, that's okay. Again, the only thing that you would miss on preview night is a chance to get onto the show floor early and potentially to see a couple of pilots from Warner Brothers or some of the other studios. The next thing to sell out is always Saturday, which in open registration last year, which it looks like that's roughly the time that we're with, sold out at about 44 minutes past the hour. So we seem to be like just slightly ahead of that. So my guess would be around like 40 minutes past the hour. So we probably have, like 11 or 12 minutes or so. So fingers crossed for all of you. And remember, there are no bad days at Comic-Con. And if you have even one day, you get to participate in returning registration next year, which means you have 2 chances to get a badge. means you've got a way higher chance of getting a badge, and it means you've got a much better chance of getting more days. So there's no such thing as a bad day. If anything does sell out on you while you are purchasing, if it is in your cart, it will not let you continue so long as it is sitting in your cart. So make sure you click the what, Andy? The little red X.
The little red X. Yeah, thanks for hitting me up like right when I'm about to get a mouthful.
Sorry,
of
I know.
hot
I'm on
coffee.
I'm on another screen, and then I
Way to
clicked over and I was like, oh no. Well. Sorry
Yeah,
about
let me recover from that.
Sorry about that. Okay, so some folks are reporting that their times have started going up, and mine actually just did as well. Yep. So again, what this likely means is that for whatever reason, like they're letting people through a little bit slower. So maybe, sorry, what?
No, it's like, don't panic.
Don't panic. It just means, like we said, that they're likely letting people through slower, because it's not just you whose time went up, it's everybody whose time just went up. And like mine has actually started to go back down a little bit again already. That's okay. It's just to basically keep the system from crashing. So this happens every time. It's nothing abnormal. It does not mean that anything like crazy is happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, Friday through Sunday are all still available. And Carrie, even if they sell out, let's talk about offsites.
Yeah, so offsites are one of my favorite parts of Comic-Con, and you don't really even need a badge for those. Every once in a blue moon these days, like there will be an offsite that requires you to have a badge, but I can't even think of one in the last couple of years.
Really, only if it's on convention center property, because that's the new rule.
Like I said, like what offsite is like really
like FX,
technically
everything
I don't feel like
along the Bayfront. But yeah, I mean,
was checking. I don't feel like
that's
FX
a mileage may vary thing. Like if you go through the Hilton and walk through the courtyard, they're not going to stop you.
Yeah, absolutely. Offsites are amazing. So if you are like missing a day, go do some offsites. Like the offsites are quite frankly as fun as, if not more fun than some of the stuff inside the convention center. And don't get me wrong, we love the actual convention center as well, but offsites are super fun, and that's a great way to fill some of your time. And I also want to say some of the best years that I have had at Comic-Con is like when I've done not my normal thing. Like I feel like it's really easy at Comic-Con to get into a rut of like, okay, this is my thing, I do this every year. And then, after 10 years of doing that thing, I think some of us are like, wow, this is, not as fun as it used to be. But it's because you do the same thing every year. Like if you try something new, you might have more fun. So crazy how that works out. Yeah, we've got a bunch of fans of offsites in the chat. Somebody just said, I feel like I'm in a therapy session with Dr. Carey. That's funny. Yeah, so we love offsites.
Offsites are an option, but also if you didn't get badges at all, what are the options? And because you still want to go to Comic-Con, what are your options for if you didn't get a badge at all during this sale?
If you are not successful in getting a badge at all, there's a couple of things that you can do. It's too late to sign up for volunteering if you did not already do that, but you could always try to volunteer next year. There are also contests that you can keep an eye out for. We post those on our site. And then the museum is doing some kind of membership tier that includes badges, but I think it was like crazy expensive. Do you remember how much that was, James?
$1,900 for the legendary membership that includes one pass to Comic-Con.
All right. Well, if you've got like $2,000 burned a hole in your pocket and you really want to go to Comic-Con, you can do that. Or alternatively, the museum, the last couple years has been doing eBay sales. eBay auctions, which those are for sure going to be more than regular retail price, but they've been roughly about twice as much the cost of a regular badge. So it's less than $1,900. And it's certainly an option, like if you're willing to try. I do see one person who just asked what website sells badges afterwards. Anything other than the eBay badges, or like an officially sanctioned contest, or again, the Comic-Con Museum, anything other than that, do not purchase that. Comic-Con does not allow badges to be transferred. So any place that you see like selling a badge, they're doing that illegally. And if you are caught like purchasing one of those or selling one of those, like they'll get you. They will take your badge away from you, not give you your money back, and just say like, sorry about you.
Yeah. So again, the eBay auctions on the official Comic-Con account, which they will link it from their website. I think it actually is even easy to get to. I think it might be just comic-con.org/eBay. That may be what it is. Unless since they updated the website, I'm not sure it's in the same place, but they listed on their website. So if you go from their website to the eBay auction and it's their page, that is the only eBay auctions that are legitimate. Everything else is a seller who you are risking that it's a fake badge, that it's a badge that's going to get canceled if they find it. Anything on any of the other ticket selling resale sites, anything on OfferUp or any of those other kind of websites, anything else that's not a legitimate contest sponsored by Comic-Con or said, this is like an official badge, that Comic-Con approves, the museum or the official eBay site. Everything else is not a legitimate sale.
Correct. That is correct.
Hold on a second. Sorry. Sir Abyss just asked, can I volunteer for preview night if I'm registered to be a volunteer for next year? The answer is yes, if you've selected the option to be a pre-convention volunteer. Our volunteer guide was just updated this past year to include pre-convention volunteering, more information on that. But yes, that will include preview night. So if you have that option selected, they will reach out to you before the convention and let you know what your assignment will be and if you're assigned to preview night.
Yes. So I saw a couple of folks asking about like, what's this eBay thing? So they have not launched that yet. But when they do, we'll put that up on our site, and it should also likely be up on Comic-Con's site. So you can keep an eye out for when those auctions start, but they are definitely not up yet. Okay. The other thing that I want to talk about, so I know that I was talking about like if you purchase from a third party, like you risk being banned. The other thing is when you do get your actual physical badge, and again, mid-June, when they actually mail them, do not post a screenshot or a photo or anything showing your name on your badge. I know we all get really excited, like, hey, I got my badge. I want to share this on Twitter, or Instagram, or wherever you are these days, the TikTok. We are old, but we are old, Andy.
I'm glad you heard it too.
We are old. But don't do that, because basically someone can take your photo and post that up on like an eBay or a Craigslist auction. And if Comic-Con sees your name on that listing, they're not going to do any research. They're just going to like look up your name and cancel your badges. It's happened. There is no recourse. There is nothing to do. Your badges just get canceled. And so does the badges of anybody else who purchased in your like purchase group. So you can take a photo, but take out your name, please.
So the question,
I like to do it with silly names, and
I was able to buy my badges, and I received the order acknowledgement email. I notice it says that badge confirmations will be sent later. Does that mean my badge is not confirmed? No. If you have the purchase email, you're good to go. The badge confirmation email is just something about maybe them shipping or something else. It's not that there's a two-step confirmation process. If you got the purchase and the email, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't be selling out. Yeah, sorry, they won't be sending out confirmations just yet, because everything is still open. Just got Saturday inventory is running low.
All right.
So yeah, once the sale is over and all the badges are sold, then they'll start processing cards.
That is right on track for last year, which sold out at 44 minutes.
Yep. Yep.
So there's a few more minutes of sales, and then Saturday will probably be sold out within the next 5 minutes or so.
Yes. But again, even if Saturday sells out, like there is no such thing as a bad day at Comic-Con. I'm going to keep saying that because there's really not. Like movies still go on Friday. TV shows still go on Friday. Like movies still go on Thursday. TV shows still go on Thursday. Movies don't really go on Sunday, but TV shows do. So there's tons of stuff to do. Again, even if you miss out on Saturday, it's not the end of the world. You can go do offsites. You can have like a chill day in the hotel. Like most of our hotels that we will be staying at Comic-Con have pools. I don't know about you guys, but I've certainly never used mine. So there's plenty of stuff that you can do.
Something I've been noticing lately is some of the artists who haven't been able to get onto the exhibit hall floor are doing pop-ups at hotel pools. So even if you don't get in, you might run down and find, oh, hey, there's Justin Harder or someone else who drew something from a movie that you really like.
Yes, absolutely.
ENT 1993 asked, what is volunteering like for SDCC? Do you all have any insight into that? Yes, we do. There's a really great guide on our website. It was written by someone incredibly brilliant and might I also say very handsome. But yes, if you go onto our site and search volunteer, there's a fairly comprehensive guide on the process and how that works.
Yes. Grisha asked, who do we contact with technical issues? If you can, take a screenshot, but then you can go onto Comic-Con's website and there is a contact form. Tell them what issues you have, and then typically they'll email you back and ask you to like attach the screenshots. So make sure that you do that. They have been known to actually help people, so make sure you contact them.
El Calamar asked earlier, I submitted my order, but I have 3 cards saved on my account. How do I know which card they are charging? I'm not sure.
Saturday is out.
Oh, yep. Saturday's gone.
Saturday's gone at 9:42 a.m.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if there's a default option for default credit card. So I don't know if there's a way to know. If you selected one when you were checking out, then that's the one that they'll use. If you didn't select one when checking out, which I'm not sure is possible, I think you have to put a credit card information in when you check out. But after the fact, you can pick which one that you want to pay the thing with.
Yes, it'll ask you, you can choose either the one you've got saved or if you've got another card that you want to use.
Yep. So Saturday is gone and so is preview night. So the next thing to sell out is going to be Friday, because it always is. Last year, it sold out at about 53 minutes in. So again, it looks like we are very close to that timing, maybe just like a minute or two ahead. So I would guess somewhere around the 50-minute mark, past the hour, is when Friday will go. So that's here in about 7-ish minutes. So that will be the next thing to go. Again, if anything sells out while it's in your cart and it won't let you continue checking out, make sure that you click what, James?
The red X?
Yeah, good job. I'm gonna keep saying it.
I wasn't even paying attention and I got it right.
Yep. It's like pop quiz.
I'm just gonna answer that for everything from now on.
The red X.
Just in case.
There you go.
I think that's fair. Yep.
Someone's gonna ask me later today, hey, where are we having lunch? The red X.
That's right. Okay, so still seeing people making it through, still seeing people, unfortunately, with long wait times, but don't give up all hope.
Paul S. just asked, does Comic-Con release days later on as people do returns? They used to, but they have not recently. I don't know if they're ever going to go back to that. Yeah. I don't think they're ever going to go back to that. So probably
I don't think so either. I mean, I think a great, no, I just don't think they do, because really I think what they probably do with the return badges now is they do those eBay auctions, which benefit the museum. Like, I think that's probably where the return badges go. So there's just not really like a need for that. But again, if for any reason you are not successful today, you can still try contests, which we will post on our website. The museum has that, whatever, the legacy, is that it, James?
Legendary
membership for $1,900, which does get you badges. Or
Badge.
keep an eye out.
Just badge.
Okay, just a badge. Just a badge. It gets you a badge. Or again, the Comic-Con Museum will likely do eBay auctions that are officially sanctioned here in a couple months.
There you
But
go.
those are really the only legitimate places to score a badge after this sale.
You know, I see people are still saying that they've got around an hour, 55 minutes. And so there are still days available. So hang tight. Please be patient. And if you get in, you'll still have an inventory.
Yep. Okay. Can you talk for a minute? I'm going to go for 1 second.
Sure. I'll talk for a minute. Andy, too. We're going to talk about something, right, Andy?
We are. So let's talk about choices.
If you had I can't think of anything right now. So as this goes on and things sell out and it's getting down to the wire, if you get in and there's only Sunday left, are you going to be a happy person? Yes, I think you should be a happy person because you are going to Comic-Con, even if it's for one day. And it's a very expensive proposition, but there are so many things to do the other days. Get into town a little early, do some offsites, do some sightseeing, and then go on Sunday and have a great time going to Comic-Con for your one day. And then you will have the option to be in returning registration for next year and get a chance to go, maybe a little bit easier chance to go so that you can then experience the full Comic-Con.
Yes.
So, and also some of the advantage of going on Sunday, the exhibit hall is not as crowded. Great for photo opportunities. Let's put it this way, a lot of the vendors are exhausted and they do not want to carry all their inventory home. So they are likely to have discounts and a little bit more swag to give away. And speaking of swag, again, these studios, these big companies, they don't want to have to lug stuff around either. So they're going to be giving away their swag. Sunday is sometimes my swag day. I'll go around and see what anybody has left. And if they got it, I'll grab it. And next year it's on someone selling it on eBay for $50. And I'm looking at it going, how about that?
Yep.
Yeah. And someone mentioning in the chat that Thursday is the best day because the energy is through the roof. Yes, that's the start of the con, and everybody is like, yes, it's Comic-Con. And that energy and drive is driven out of them by the end of that day. And the rest of it is just, let's survive Comic-Con.
But Thursday, everybody's still really excited. That's absolutely true. That's funny.
By Sunday, most of the vendors are zombies and they're running on autopilot, and they're just happy you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is the longest, shortest 4 days ever.
Yeah.
Yes, it really is. So I'm sure you guys talked about it, but a bunch of people are mentioning, that Sunday has great sales. But I wanted to point out that Committed Comics said, plus, if I have leftover prize mule cards from the week, they're all available on Sunday. So yes, I think we're going to be doing some more of those. If you guys enjoyed collecting those last year, we got to finish it off with set number 2. So.
Yeah. Clone Tommy says Sunday is when he gets to talk to James. What's up, Tommy? Like, I relegate him to Sunday. I don't talk to you until Sunday.
Yeah.
Friday is low.
Okay. So
What?
as we mentioned, Friday's low. Friday's going to be the next one to sell out. Which again, we're pretty much right on schedule. So last year during Open Reg, it took 53 minutes to sell out. We're at 49 minutes past the hour. So I think it'll be very similar timing.
Yeah. It looks like everything's running just like a couple of minutes faster than last year.
Yep. So Hank just asked, got the badges. What about Hotel Apocalypse? So Comic-Con actually launched early birds pretty early by their standards. They have launched it in November before, but that's not usual. But early birds, which are non-downtown hotels, you have to prepay and they're non-refundable. Those are available right now. But Hotel Apocalypse is like the main general hotel sale. And that will be downtown hotels. That one's a lottery, and we call it Hotel Apocalypse because that's kind of what it is. You just hope for the best and you get what you get. That is traditionally in April. Comic-Con did mention on their website the other day that it would be in spring. My guess is very much still April. It's normally shortly after WonderCon, and WonderCon I think ends on March 31st. I think this year, right? Or next year, right?
For what?
WonderCon ends on March 31st, right?
I think so. It's it's near the end of March.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that the hotel sale will be in April shortly after that.
And yes, they do a parking sale as well. The Ace parking lottery system that happens in that same time frame, usually in May/June, roughly is when it starts.
Yes, they did it a little bit later than normal.
And they did a shorter amount of groups, fewer groups.
Yes.
So they started it later and then did fewer groups.
Yes.
And again, I think that might have been still Ace parking trying to get their sea legs back under them.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. But all of that information, we will post it on our site when all of that happens. So you can keep an eye out for that. And then our
last day for refunds is what, May 12th, 13th, something like that?
I think it's the 13th.
So let me find it again. Nicole asked, mine is crashing. Should I refresh? Take a screenshot and then hit the refresh button.
Friday is
sold
out.
Friday is gone.
Yep.
At 9:51 is the timestamp,
Yep.
which puts it at 2 minutes faster. So yeah, running just basically 2 minutes faster than last year.
Yep. So pretty much
So
same
if that
time frame.
follows, then in about 22 to 25 minutes, Sunday and Thursday should sell out either very quickly after each other or about the same time.
Yep. Absolutely.
So those of you with an under 30 minutes, you all have a chance. It just depends on how fast it sells out.
Yeah. And I do want to point out, like, even if your time is over 30 minutes, like, I would still wait it out, because as people make it through, like, they are, like closing their extra windows, which makes everything speed up just a little bit. So
yeah, which reminds me I should close my last one.
Yeah, so there's always a chance.
And yes, we're saying there's a chance.
Yes, we are. There's always a chance.
Anyone know about how they know the name to the person? Can my friend use our other friend's account? As long as they've got the username and password, yes. If that other person is logged in at the same time, that will cause a problem. So make sure that other friend is not also logged in.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. There is still a chance. Yep. I see several of you have time frames under like 20 minutes. Fingers crossed for all of you. Okay.
Let's see
what
here.
other questions?
As soon as that last day is sold out, I am like throwing the mic down and bolting out the door.
Okay.
So yeah, we may or may not do our usual ending.
No, we'll do it. I'll finish this. I finish what I start.
I was about to say, like, we can do like our spiel like now if you really want. Like,
nah.
Okay. Nah. All right. Well, no chit chat after. Got it. Mike asked, do you know when WonderCon badges go on sale? I don't. It's normally like anytime really between right now and March.
Like January.
Yeah. So
usually December, January timeframe, somewhere around there.
Yes. So it has, I think last year was late, but maybe I'm making that up in my head.
No, I think you're right.
Oh my But it
All right.
really could be like any time between now and then. Oh no, I'm way off. WonderCon badges last year went on sale on November 15th. So I'm way off.
But they haven't gone on sale yet. So
no, they have not. So
Probably after
really,
this is done.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
It feels like Comic-Con has been like on a really expedited schedule, like all of a sudden. Like it was like there was nothing. And then the second that like returning registration happened, it's been like boom, boom, boom. Like it's been crazy because they basically did open registration and then they started announcing stuff for professionals and they went ahead and they launched early birds when it was like, guys, we still have like a whole other badge sale to get through. They sent out press stuff. So like I said, it's just been like all of a sudden, like everything. So maybe it continues and like Tuesday we get WonderCon badges.
Can you use a friend's account to log in? Yes. If they are eligible for the sale, you can use their member ID to log in if you are selected.
Yes.
But like I said before, if they are also logged in, it might cause problems. So make sure you're coordinating with that friend.
All right. So the 75-minute mark was when Thursday went last year. And we are at the 56-minute mark. So there's still about 20 minutes to go, probably.
Yep. Yep.
When can you pay for badges bought by someone else? Typically right after the sale. As soon as the badges show up in your member ID, you can pay for them.
Yeah, so once the sale is over, the queue at waiting room will basically transform back into the regular just Comic-Con member ID system, and your badges should immediately be in there. So from there, you can go and pay for them, and I guess I can walk through this again if we want.
I think they always want, Carrie. Everybody wants.
Yeah. Okay, do you see my screen?
We see your screen.
We see it.
Okay, so there's two options. Option number one, you can do absolutely nothing because you do not have to do the second option. If you don't do anything, what's going to happen is whoever in your group checked out is they'll get charged with a credit card that they entered on the payment screen, and they'll get hit for however many badges that they checked out with. That's fine. Option number two, though, is if somebody is like, hey, I don't really want $1,000+ to hit my credit card today, each person can pay for their own individual badge. And the way that you do that is, again, once the sale's over, the member ID portal will turn back to what it is normally, and then you can go log in. And if you go to your account dashboard and then click My Notifications, you'll see a balance, which is going to look exactly like this. Like this is from returning registration, but it said like balance due, pay now, $365. You click pay, and then it will take you to a screen that looks like this. And originally these amounts will say 0. So you just need to fill them out with whatever the balance says it is. Keep in mind that if you did not already purchase anything in returning registration, $15 will be added to one day. So you can see on like Thursday, the normal price is $79, but they just tossed that 15 processing fee under that one for whatever reason. You need to fill out those amounts, and then you can check out and then continue on from there. But if you want to go this route, you need to do that here pretty quickly, because last time they charged the cards really quickly.
But again, I want to remind everybody that when you click add payment, there's a lag. I would give it about 10 seconds. Be patient, because it will appear over on the right-hand side, but it takes a second.
Yeah. But yeah, you have to do that before Comic-Con starts hitting credit cards, which took like 2 to 3 hours last time after the sale. So if you want to do that like as soon as the sale is over.
And why does Saturday sell out first? Someone asked earlier. Let me see if I can find it. Quick question from I can't find it right now. I think it already moved past. There you go. From Javier. Why does everybody else get tickets for Saturday? Why? Because it's the day where sometimes and most often the biggest studio presentations happen. And so there's definitely a lot of people who want to go see those. And so a significant number of people only want to see, let's say, the WB presentation that they know is almost always on Saturday morning. they're going to buy a ticket for Saturday and not the other days. So if there's, 1,000 people, let's say, who want to do that and only that, then Saturday's going to sell out way faster than anything else because there's 1,000 more people wanting to go on Saturday than any other day.
Yep.
And you ask the question, why would someone only go for one day to Comic-Con?
Yep.
It happens. Some people just want to go for the one thing that they like and not have to spend all that money on everything else.
Yep. Carl said, my daughter is in and can't buy for me. Carl, if you have like a suffix in your name or like a junior or the third or anything like that, or any kind of hyphenate, make sure that they've typed it in, including that information. Hopefully you took a screenshot of the way that your name appeared prior to the sale. That's why we always recommend that. Because it has to match exactly down to the comma, like the way that it appears in your member ID. Spencer asked, what time did Sunday sell out last year? It sold out at, what did we say, 76 minutes? Yeah, 76 minutes past the hour. We are currently at 61 minutes past the hour, so we've got about 15 or so-ish minutes. We've been going just a little bit faster than last year. So, maybe like 12 minutes, but still.
And like we said earlier, they don't push the schedule out until 2 weeks before the con, but there are a lot of franchises that traditionally remain consistent. Yeah. So, for example, Once Upon a Time was always the first panel on Saturday in Ballroom 20. That was the spot that they always reserved for themselves, and Comic-Con let them do it. So if you were a Once Upon a Time fan, you could pretty much bet that you would be in line at 3:00 in the morning to get into Ballroom 20 to see Once Upon a Time.
Yes. We just got an email from somebody who said I hit pay and got kicked out. This was happening during returning registration. If this did happen to you, make sure that you check your email because you may have still gotten like a confirmation email. Hopefully you did, but if not, make sure that you contact Comic-Con International if something like that happens to you.
And like Carrie said, screenshot.
Screenshot everything that you possibly can. Yep. All
right. Congratulations, William. He got Thursday and Sunday. Good job.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Doctor Who. People are mentioning Doctor Who as the Sunday for typical days, but there was that one time Doctor Who was on a Thursday.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. So it's not always completely consistent, but a lot of things are fairly consistent. But again, if you don't have Friday or Saturday, like go do offsites, go explore San Diego. Like there's tons of stuff that you can do. There's no shortage of things in the city. And it's been really nice actually the last couple of years because I feel like more and more offsites have been doing reservations, which has been really helpful. I actually listened to a podcast that Lauren Collins over at AMC did the other day talking about AMC's offsites and like how much they thought fans valued the reservation system and how that's going to be like something that they try to implement moving forward. So hopefully that continues because that always makes everything just a little bit more bearable.
I've done the Paramount Plus registration 2 years in a row, and it has been absolutely fantastic. I know, James, you did it as well these last 2 years, and not this past year, but last year, you got treated to the Strange New Worlds cast just kind of showing up, correct?
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Was that 2 years ago? Last year? I don't know. It's all running. Last year. Runs together. Yeah. So yeah, I got to see the Strange New Worlds cast, and that was pretty fun.
It was 2 years ago. Yeah. Okay. How are prices during General Hotel? Blaze asked. You can go look at last year's prices on our site. They're not going to change that much. Comic-Con is a really awesome thing where they basically contract, like the port of the transit authority, the port authority, whatever it is, like they actually contract with Comic-Con, with the hotels to keep rates low. I mean, it's still going to be higher than like a normal week, but if the hotels had their choice, they'd charge like $1,000 a night, and Comic-Con makes sure that they sign agreements basically saying that they won't do that to make the rates at least more affordable.
Movie Showdown asked, what's the plan? What's the Paramount Plus registration? Watch our site for info. We will
Yes.
we'll
Yeah.
have info about that when it drops.
Yeah, Paramount Plus has done some fun offsites the last couple of years, and they've had like a reservation system basically for the offsite. I think more and more offsites these days like are moving to a reservation system, which again, like I love. And if you ever like don't get a reservation for any of these offsites, like just about all of them also have a standby line. So if it's something that you really want, like you can usually still make it in if you're willing to put in the time. But having a reservation certainly makes life nicer.
Yeah, I know the Paramount Plus, they had the standby line, and they also had just the bar room, like an abbreviated experience open for walk-ins.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
And yes, they can be hard to get into, but again, watch our site.
Yep. Spencer said 2 minutes. What's my chances of Thursday? I think pretty good. I think you're
Yeah.
okay.
I haven't seen anything about low.
No, they have not posted that anything's low. So based on last year's timing, again, it's sold out 76 minutes past the hour, which would be in about 10 minutes. So like I'd try to get through filling out your information as quick as you can, but I think you probably have a decent shot of getting Thursday and Sunday if you want it. So
Yeah, especially since they sold out 1 minute apart last year and at the same time this year for return registration. So they will go quickly once they go. Once we see low, they'll both go pretty quick.
Yep, exactly. Okay.
Glad to see that we're still getting happy people in our chat.
Yeah, we love that. And again, so like if this is your first year attending, if all you can get is Thursday and Sunday, don't be discouraged, because the best thing about getting any day to Comic-Con sometimes is that, again, you've got returning registration next year, which means that you've got a significantly higher chance of getting more days next year. Mike Nelson asked, what day will the Tom Hardy panel be? I'm wearing a Venom shirt. Yes, I love Venom. That's Tom Hardy's hoodie over there.
He wants it back. No, he doesn't.
He's not getting it back. They just moved the Venom 3 release date to, I think, October. It was in July. It's not now. So fingers securely crossed, but we'll see.
Yeah, expect basically, if there's going to be Venom at Comic-Con, expect Comic-Con coverage from the San Diego Comic-Con unofficial blog to basically be nothing but Venom gifts and Venom commentary as we talk about other things. And the main thing, no.
See, you should be so lucky, because like I think then we would change our party theme, because right now our party theme may or may not be Taylor Swift related. So oh Lord.
Just Hanging pointed out that Deadpool comes out the week of Comic-Con. Yes. We noticed that too. If you remember, Deadpool 2 did something the year after it came out. So
yeah.
I would say that chances are pretty good of seeing something.
And there wasn't a special event for Captain America back when that came out many years ago. They did an event because it came out the same weekend.
Yes. Dion, I don't know what your job is, but let's talk offline. Let's talk offline. Yeah, so traditionally, like when movies come out the week of Comic-Con, a lot of times like they don't get promo at the convention, but I think Deadpool would definitely be an exception, because as Andy just pointed out, like it's so much of a Comic-Con thing that literally the year after it came out for the DVD release, like they went huge with Deadpool, even though it had long since been out. So I think there's a very good chance.
As Tom mentioned, they had the toilet covers, and I think that was also the booth with the dancing
Chuck E. Cheese.
the animatronic Deadpool.
Yes, it was so cool. Loved that. So I think they are very aware that Deadpool is a Comic-Con property.
And there are also several shows that are or should be premiering the week of Comic-Con, if not around that time. And in the past, shows like Winona Earp have specifically planned events around release nights. They've given fans like an early preview. So yeah, there are a lot of chances of some fan events happening if there are releases the week of Comic-Con. And Thursday and Sunday are low.
Oh,
Okay. All right. So
Have you missed your
again,
chance to tell SDCC you want to volunteer? Yes, Jen, I'm sorry you have.
yeah.
and I think it was Javier asked earlier, if they purchase Thursday and Sunday badges, are you eligible for returning registration next year? Yes, you will be. As it stands right now, if you have a badge for this year, for upcoming 2024, then you will be eligible for 2025 returning registration.
Yep.
So
Chimichanga
it
trucks,
looks
let's
like
go.
everything is running pretty much on time. Again, I think it's going to be a couple of minutes early, so I think we can expect it to sell out probably in the next 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
James is already like plotting how fast he can bang it out that door.
I'm gonna have to at least go put my shoes on.
Wow, that's okay.
Yeah, Pac-Man just mentioned, I miss when they had the Conan O'Brien shows there with the free Funko Pops at the shows. Yeah, those were fun.
They were fun. I got to go to a few of those.
Okay, so William just asked, do you need a badge for the Marriott stuff, like the movies, anime, and shows? And yes, I think you do actually need a badge to attend those, because those are basically considered like normal Comic-Con panels, even though they're over in the Marriott. So
Brent Miller asked, do you have to scan the badge in to be eligible for returning registration? Carrie, do you want to talk about that?
yeah, so the unofficial rule is basically like, no, you don't. You just have to own the badge. But if too many people start abusing it, like Comic-Con reserves the right to change their mind. So, but they haven't yet. So if for any reason you can't attend, like they understand, that things happen, family emergencies happen, stuff happens to where like maybe for whatever reason you weren't able to like actually physically make it to Comic-Con. So yep.
All right.
Okay, so we're just waiting.
Says, I miss when we were able to buy next year's con badges the first day of the con in sales pavilion. Oh yeah, a lot of us missed that.
But I think that last year, like the line to get them was like basically a whole day, which I think is basically why they stopped doing that.
Yeah, the last time they did it, they actually moved it off-site to one of the hotels and forced people to basically miss an entire like first half of the one day of Comic-Con to go wait in that line to get badges for the next year.
Yeah, and so many people complained that they never did it again.
But that was the last time. That year was I think it was 2011, possibly. That was the last time that they sold them on site.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it was 2010 or 2011, but 2011 sounds right. So,
everyone who is still waiting, badges are low, but they're still not out. So there's still a chance.
Not out. There's still a chance. And again, if for any reason, like you don't get badges today, you can always wait, and hopefully the Comic-Con Museum does the eBay auctions. Again, they will be more than they are today, but last year they were about double the price, which isn't amazing, but it's not terrible. Somebody just said Thursday's out.
Yep.
Did they tweet that? Yep, they just tweeted that. Okay.
Yep, just now.
Yep. Okay.
Romy asked, do they combine badges for Thursday through Sunday, or does it have to include Wednesday as well? So this isn't like having to swap between 4 badges. Yes, if you got all 4 days, you will get one consolidated badge. Even if you don't have preview night, they will still consolidate.
Thursday is sold out.
Yeah, we said that already.
Anything other than that,
I just saw it.
Okay. Yeah, anything other than that, yes, you will get individual badges for each day.
Well, do you, or isn't it like the little paper slips and you have to like flip between the paper slips? Like
right, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. You get different cards for each day.
Yes, yeah, but you're right. It's not like a physically different badge, but I think there are like different
Sold out.
paper slips that you
All
all gone. Okay. All right, James. That's it, guys. So unfortunately, if you were not able to purchase a badge today, like there will not be another one of these. But as we've mentioned several times, hopefully they do eBay auctions. You can try for the legendary membership on the Comic-Con museum, which is $1,900, which does get you a badge. There are contests. Skybound, I think, is still running one through maybe like the end of the year. I forget the end date. You can go check that out on our site. And James, do you want to wrap us up?
I got time.
Okay.
We can't right away anyway. So is there any other questions that we should answer as the last before we head out, like about payment, or if you don't get badges, if you didn't get badges today, anything else we need to cover?
Mike in the chat, I think you are definitely on the right track in your line of thinking. So we will be back for podcasts with our normal stuff, starting with WonderCon. We will do a WonderCon panel breakdown when that is announced. And then our normal season, we typically start the first week of May. To go over real quick the next couple of things that are likely to happen in the world of Comic-Con. WonderCon badges could go on sale literally anytime. Like, it would not shock me if they went on sale like even next week. So we'll get WonderCon badges and hotels at some point soon. And then the general hotel sale, they have said, will be in the spring. It will very likely be in April because it just about always is. Early bird hotels are available right now. Early bird hotels are non-downtown hotels. So this is either going to be Mission Valley or the airport. They are prepay and they're non-refundable. But if you just like want a hotel, you don't want the stress, you don't care if you're downtown, early bird is a great option. If you do want to stay downtown, or if you just don't want to prepay or whatever the case might be, general hotel sale, like we said, will be in April. Parking is typically April or May. We'll post all that information on our site. And then from there, like, it's Comic-Con news season, really.
And when, Jada asked, when will the eBay auctions go up? Is that like in May or June? It's usually sometime up to about 8 weeks before the con.
It started June 7th last year, it looks like.
Okay. So yeah, about 7 or 8 weeks before.
Yeah.
Blade in the chat said that they got kicked out when they purchased their badge. Make sure you take a screenshot, and once the member ID opens back up, you can go back in and click on My Badges and see if it's there. If not, check your bank statements, credit cards, whatever, see if you get charged, and
send a message to them if you say, hey, look, I thought I'd purchased a badge. Here's a screenshot. If you have one. And what may have happened, of course, is they sold out just as you were clicking the button and someone else bought a badge right before you. And that was the last badge. It's very possible that could have happened. So you may also get an email, find out. But yeah, do the thing. Do all the things Andy suggested. Go and do all the investigating.
Yep.
Yes.
And reach out via the contact form. Say, hey, what happened? And they might, like James said, reach back and say, sorry, you were just 1 nanosecond too late.
Yeah. So real quick, I see a couple of folks in the chat asking like what time things sold out. So we do a recap of this whole sale where we will also go back over like the times that everything sold out both this year and last year to compare. And that will be up later this afternoon on our site. And
as always, you can contact us on Twitter. Just add us and ask your questions about the registration or any other Comic-Con questions, and we will get to those questions as we can. And of course, we're available and we have the site running, and we will keep announcing things as we go all throughout until Comic-Con next year.
And if it's Tom Hardy news, Carrie is all over it. We promise.
I'm all over it.
All right, guys. So thank you all again for joining us for this. Congratulations to everyone who got tickets, and to everyone who didn't. Of course, we're sorry. Way more people try than can ever get badges. And hopefully we'll have better luck next year. I guess that's it. So, Andy, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can find my Comic-Con coverage on Twitter and or X, and Instagram as SDCC Wacky Wags. I also have a cannabis themed podcast under SDConCast on Insta and Twitter as well. Carrie, where can we find more of your work on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at Carrie Dixon, and you can also find me on like the blog Twitter or answering the blog email. James, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
You can find me everywhere at Dan Regal, and you can check out geekshotphoto.com for photography links for my wife and I. And thank you again to Beth, my wife, for producing this and editing it and getting it into the podcast stuffs. And also, if you want to listen to more of me talking, I am on a podcast called Citizens of Lorcana every week, and we're covering everything about Disney's new trading card game, Lorcana. I think that's about it.
Yeah. So if you enjoy the work that we do, or if you are appreciative, we are actually on Patreon. You can find the links up on our website. But all the money that we make goes right back into the site or in like doing fun giveaways and stuff for you guys. So again, if you appreciate the work that we do fun stuff as well. Like James and I do extra podcasts, things like that. We are on iTunes. If you'd like to subscribe, the links are up in the blog, or you can search for SDConCast. If you like what you've heard so far, please review us. We are also on Stitcher Radio and Spotify, and the links are in the show notes.
If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at info@sdccblog.com. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SDConblog, or tweet us at SD_comic_con. Thank you all for listening, and everybody go
Shawarma!
It's time to Lorcana this up.